Hey folks, this is Kelani. Today we're going to be looking at mining Mithril in Guild Wars 2. So for this, you want to take Malchor's Leap and Cursed Shore. Now what you want to do is you want to take a waypoint relatively close to the edge of the map. I usually start somewhere near Paga's waypoint, and you want to do a full circuit, if possible. You want to cover as much of the map as possible, and it doesn't really matter which direction you go in, because this stuff is everywhere. The first thing that you'll want to make a note of is whether you're in an overflow or your main server. Now to check this, you can just hover over your minimap where it says basically where you are. There'll be overflow in brackets if you are in an overflow. The point of being in an overflow is that the mining nodes are not shared with your home server. So if you're in, say, you start with Malchor's Leap and you get thrown into an overflow, when you've finished your little farming, if you head into Cursed Shore, you could then go back to Malchor's Leap, because chances are you wouldn't get the same overflow server. If you get your own server, it's, you know, not too bad. Obviously it's a different server, so you get a different set of mining nodes. But if you get another overflow, then you can just clear that out, and you've still got your own server to clear out. So it just depends on essentially how lucky you are. Now, I personally don't want to fight mobs, as it takes too much time. But essentially, what you'll be looking for, if we just get to somewhere relatively safe.
Being poisoned.
Should probably have a different skill set on as well, but that's no worries. So what you want to be looking for is potentially these areas, as well as this area. Pay particular attention to the water areas. There is often quite a lot of mithril in there. But what you want to do is you want to do a full circuit covering as much as possible, and then head over into Cursed Shore. Now you also want to do a full circuit here, but potentially this area and this area may not be worth it, depending on what you're aiming for. If you want to maximise Orichalcum as well, then you're pretty much going to have to cover the entire map due to their spawning being incredibly sporadic. But when you finish with your Malchor's Leap, you want to head just down into Cursed Shore. You probably want to start once again at the top, and head down in a direction which is sensible. You know, don't try not to backtrack too much, otherwise you'll be wasting time and effort. Usually loads of nodes, so you can play dot to dot. Quite a few of them will be clumped up, so make sure you got plenty of pickaxes ready. Remember that if you've just come from mining previous metals, you will need to upgrade to at least a mithril pickaxe. It's probably worth it if you've got the spare pennies to go for Orichalcum straight up, just so you can mine the Orichalcum ore if you do come across it. The only problem is quite a lot of the mobs in these areas immobilise, stun, knock back, which can be frustrating. If you run with something which is either a stun break or a stability, that could help quite considerably, as you can happily mine away. Damn pulls. You can happily mine away with the stability buff up, and they won't be able to touch you at all, which is excellent. But as you can see, these two areas are brilliant. Now, sadly I'm not in an overflow. We may be a little bit too late for enough people to be on for an overflow. But as I say, if you do find yourself in an overflow, remember that you can go back to the areas where you were in an overflow and happily farm them out again. Apart from that, it's just making sure that you gather as much as possible. And if you do happen to completely mine out Malchor's Leap and Cursed Shore, there is quite a bit of mithril in the Straits. There's some in Mount Maelstrom, And if you're really desperate, you can also go up to Frostwhisper Gorge. Don't pull me, that's cruel. These really will be the bane of your life. Anyway, thank you for watching, folks. I hope you get plenty Mithril. Hope it was at least helpful, if not informative. And as always, I'll see you next time.